She almost said no. If she had trusted the quiet warning in her chest, if she had let the phone ring one more time and fade into silence, her heart might have been safe. But instead, on a rain-soaked Thursday evening in late October, Elena whispered a trembling, "Okay. One last dinner," not knowing that those 3 words would decide the fate of her heart forever. Before we step into that night with her, pause for just a second. If you've ever loved someone you weren't sure you could forgive, if you've ever stood at the edge of goodbye, wondering whether to walk away or turn back, then this story is for you. Take a breath, settle in, and if stories about love, second chances, and courage speak to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next journey. Now let me tell you about Elena and the dinner that changed everything. Elena hadn't seen Daniel in 8 months. 8 months since the slammed door. 8 months since the words they both regretted. 8 months since she packed a suitcase at midnight, her hands shaking so badly she could barely fold her sweaters. They had been together for 4 years. 4 years of Sunday morning pancakes, road trips with no destination, and whispered promises about the future. They had met at a mutual friend's birthday party, where Daniel had spilled red wine on his own shirt while trying to impress her with a joke. She had laughed, not at him, but with him, and something in that laugh stitched their lives together. But love, no matter how bright, can be fragile. Daniel was ambitious, always chasing the next promotion, the next opportunity. Elena was a school counselor who believed in slow mornings and meaningful conversations. She loved depth, he loved motion. At first, their differences felt exciting, like 2 puzzle pieces from different boxes somehow fitting together. Over time, though, the edges began to scrape. The fight that ended them wasn't about betrayal. It wasn't about some dramatic secret. It was about a job offer in another city. Daniel had been offered a position in Chicago, his dream role. More money, more prestige, more everything. He had assumed she would come. "You can transfer," he had said. "Or find something new. It's an adventure." Elena had stared at him across their small kitchen table. "My students aren't an accessory I can just pack into a box. It's just a job, Elena. And this is just a city to you." They hadn't known it then, but that was the moment the ground split beneath them. He accused her of holding him back. She accused him of caring more about status than stability. Voices rose, tears fell, and in the end, pride stood taller than love. He left for Chicago alone. The first few weeks without him felt like phantom limb pain. She would reach for her phone to text him about something silly, a stray cat outside her apartment, a song on the radio, only to remember there was no S anymore. She told herself she was fine. She poured herself into her work. She started yoga. She went on 2 painfully awkward dates arranged by well-meaning friends. But at night, when the world grew quiet, she missed him in the spaces between her thoughts. Then, 8 months later, he called. His name lighting up her screen felt like a ghost knocking at the door. She almost didn't answer. "Hi," he said when she picked up, his voice softer than she remembered. They spoke carefully, like strangers testing thin ice. He was in town for a conference. Just for 2 days. He asked if she would be willing to have dinner. "Just to talk," he added quickly. She should have said no. Instead, she heard herself agreeing. And that's how she found herself standing outside their old favorite restaurant, the small Italian place with crooked picture frames and candlelight that made everything look warmer than it was. He was already inside. When she walked in, time did something strange. It folded. For a second, it felt like nothing had changed. He stood when he saw her, the same way he used to. His hair was slightly shorter. His face looked more tired. "You look good," he said. "So do you," she replied, though what she meant was, "You look like home." Dinner began politely. They talked about work, about mutual friends, about the weather in Chicago versus back here. But beneath the small talk was a storm neither of them could ignore. Finally, he set down his fork. "I was wrong," he said. The words hung in the air between them. She blinked. "About what?" "About us. About thinking my career mattered more than what we had." Her heart thudded painfully against her ribs. She had imagined this moment so many times, him apologizing, admitting he had made a mistake. But imagination hadn't prepared her for how vulnerable he looked now. "Chicago isn't what I thought it would be," he continued. "The job is impressive. But it's empty. I kept waiting to feel successful. Instead, I just felt alone." Elena swallowed. "You chose that, I know." His voice cracked slightly. "And I've regretted it almost every day." There it was. The confession, the ache she had secretly hoped for. But healing isn't automatic just because someone says sorry. You hurt me, she said quietly. You made it sound like my life, my work, was small. I was selfish, he admitted. I thought love would adjust around my plans. Silence stretched between them again, but this time it wasn't icy. It was heavy, thoughtful. What are you asking, Daniel? She finally said. He looked at her the way he had the night he first told her he loved her, terrified and certain all at once. I'm asking if we can try again. I turned down a promotion. I can transfer back. I don't care about titles the way I thought I did. I care about you. Her breath caught. This was the moment, the invisible fork in the road. Part of her wanted to leap across the table, to wrap her arms around him and erase the past 8 months. But another part, the part that had cried herself to sleep, that had rebuilt her independence piece by piece, was afraid. What if we end up here again? She whispered. What if next time it's another city? Another dream? Then we talk, he said. We choose together. I didn't understand that before. I do now. Tears blurred her vision. She hated that she still loved him. She hated that love wasn't something you could simply turn off like a light. I've changed too, she admitted. I've learned I can survive without you. And that scares me, because I don't want to choose you out of fear of being alone. I want to choose you because it's right. He reached across the table but stopped just short of touching her hand, waiting for permission. I don't want you to need me, he said. I want you to want me. And in that moment, she saw it clearly. Love wasn't about sacrificing your dreams or clinging to someone out of comfort. It was about standing side by side, both whole, both willing. She thought about the lonely nights, the laughter they had shared, the fight that broke them, the growth that followed. Okay, she said softly. But we do this differently. No assumptions, no ultimatums. His eyes filled with relief. Together, together. He took her hand then, and this time she let him. Dinner stretched into hours. They talked about therapy. Yes, he had started going. They talked about practicalities. They talked about fears. It wasn't a fairy tale reconciliation. It was messy and honest and real. When they finally stepped outside, the rain had stopped. The city streets glistened under the streetlights. He walked her to her car, just like he used to. So, he said, a hint of nervous humor returning, does this mean I get to call you tomorrow? She smiled, a real, unguarded smile. It means we start slow. He nodded. Slow is good. As she drove home, her heart felt different. Not lighter, exactly, but steadier. She knew there were no guarantees. Love didn't come with contracts. But she also knew this. Walking away had taught her strength. Saying yes again was teaching her courage. That one last dinner hadn't just decided the fate of her heart. It had revealed it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't leaving. Sometimes it's returning. With boundaries, with wisdom, with a deeper understanding of who you are. Elena didn't choose Daniel because she was afraid of being alone. She chose him because she believed two people who are willing to grow can build something stronger the second time around. And if you're standing at your own crossroads right now, wondering whether to close the door or open it just one more time, remember this: your heart's fate isn't decided by fear. It's decided by honesty, growth, and the courage to choose what aligns with your soul. If this story touched something in you, if it reminded you of a love you lost or one you're fighting for, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There are more stories waiting, stories about hope, about resilience, about hearts that break and heal and beat even stronger than before. Because sometimes, one last dinner isn't an ending. It's the beginning of forever.